going on, guys? It's your girl, Mikhail Rose, and welcome to Iconix Radio. I'm so excited y'all tuned in. You know it's about to be an amazing show because the one and only, well, first of all, let me say, shout out to all the boss chicks out there, especially the boss chicks of Houston. We have one of the boss chicks of Houston in the building, representing North Carolina by way of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My girl, Candice Fobb. Don't never call her Candy. Okay. Candice, how are you? Oh man, I'm blessed. I am in the presence of a boss chick, so it's lit. I mean, life is good.
Always.
You woke up this morning and what you do?
So, excuse me, this morning, just like any other morning, roll over, say my prayers, some type of devotional or weekly, daily prayer or something. I try to exercise. I'm not going to lie and say I do it every morning.
Yeah, girl, I got you. Some days I'll be like, you know what? Not today.
Go get breakfast, and then at that point, it's emails and it's work mode.
Period. I love it.
Yes.
Oh, man. That's a good morning.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe, let me back up and say this. I have had the pleasure and the honor to talk to about, you're the fourth boss chick that I've spoken with. I've had the pleasure to meet. And I am so amazed by each and every last one of y'all. I do a test. And the test is always like what's the day for you? Like how do you start your day? Every last one of y'all. That's everybody. Every last one of y'all said the exact same thing. When you woke up, you prayed, you had some type of devotional or inspirational listening, or one of the ladies were, well, a couple of y'all were, instilling something within your kids. I'm like, every last one of y'all. So I'm like, I don't know whether I know y'all not setting this up.
No.
This is real life of a boss chick.
Yes. I mean, what other way why would you want to start your morning or your day any other way?
Man, I feel honored. I'm an honorary member of the Boss Chick clique. I want y'all to know.
We welcome you.
Wow. Well, let's get into it. So that's how the morning of a boss chick starts.
Yes.
So now y'all know. Now, what is the name of your company and what do you do?
So the name of my company is called the Cadence Company.
Okay.
And it's a full service human resources outsourcing entity. So anything you name it, we do as it relates to human resources, catering to small to mid-sized businesses. So that's payroll, benefits, staffing, recruiting, workers' compensation, employee relations.
Wow.
And then also consulting, just from a strategy perspective.
I would love to call by my chick and talk to you because her voice is so I know I'm about to get paid because your voice is like, this is what it is. I love it. Candice, you in the hot seat today because you are the last boss chick before the big event.
Am I?
Girl, it's lit. So what should people look for coming out of this event?
So I think definitely they want to come with an open mind.
Okay.
Also just be ready to absorb and take in all the information, right? We're not going to just have people there that are just kind of there to excite you, pump you up.
Yep.
You're going to come there and walk away with tools and resources. And that's why I absolutely love this group of women, right? Not only do they walk the walk, they talk the talk,
yes. Yes.
And they're living examples, and providing you with the tools, resources, and the information you need, like Nicole said, to go get it and come back with it.
Listen. Baby, I got notes from each and every last boss chick that came and sat at this table, honey. And I'm always inspired by people all the time. But y'all have blown me away. I mean, because, you see people online and you hear, oh, I got a business, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But y'all are like structured together. You can tell. And finalizing with the cadence. Listen, the cadence of it. Yes. So it's very important for any business to have like the functioning resources financially. Have your stuff together. Don't be penning everything in. Go get your notepad and just don't write everything down, y'all. get someone to handle
Correct.
your finances.
Correct.
So why is that important? Because most people just start businesses and they just pay themselves and they don't have no break, all the money come in.
It's funny that you say that, but it is. That's how most businesses get started, right?
Yeah.
I read a study or research or something that said 54% of small businesses handle all the administrative things themselves, right?
Yes.
Or they give it to someone, assign it to someone that a lot of times is not prepared or an expert or even familiar with it, right?
Okay.
And I think it's just an easy way out. But unfortunately, the downfall to that is it puts you behind the game just from a compliance perspective. Just even being ready to grow your business, when you talk about just even being ready to attract, create a culture, build a reputation as a good employer, you're behind the game. And unfortunately, human resources is that aspect of the business that all businesses wait. They don't see it as important. They wait till the last minute, right, to implement or do something about it. Typically, something has to happen. An employee has to complain about their hours and go and file a wage and hour, claim or lawsuit or something like that, And then now you as an employer, you're like, I got to get my stuff together. But, HR should be factored into the conversation very early on, the same as when you're talking about marketing, operations, sales, the whole 9 yards, especially if you're talking about hiring or having an employee, more than one employee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna play devil's advocate. What about somebody that's like, you know what, I'm my own business. This is like what I do. Should they still consult with or should they still like incorporate an HR person with them? Because should they?
I don't know that you necessarily need one if you're what I call a solopreneur, right?
Okay.
An individual.
Thank you.
So we have solopreneurs that say, hey, I'm an entity or an organization or a company. No, you're really not. You're a solopreneur. At the point where you say, hey, I'm going to become an employer, a business, an entity, and you have other people, then yes, you do want to involve someone. Now, if you're paying yourself from the company as a solopreneur, right, then you just want to make sure that you're doing that right, that you're set up correctly, you're understanding the payroll taxes, the laws, and things of that nature. But that's something that you can find out from just a CPA or a bookkeeper or accountant, right? But when it comes to HR, people think, what is HR? I'm going to call somebody about my payroll or, maybe it's benefits. But human resources is way more than that. Human resources is the people that make up the organization. People like me manage it, right? And so I'm the conduit between the owners, the management of the organization, and the employees. And so I'm the individual that's going to help you to make sure that you have the proper culture, right? In terms of accountability, that you have a handbook, that you have policies and procedures, that you have a strategy. So when you say, hey, I'm at 5 employees or two or 5 employees, but I want to grow to 10 to 20 in the next 6 months to a year, that's what I'm going to help you do.
Period. Okay, so a person that's working as a solopreneur, note that, okay, or has 2 or more, maybe 2 or 5, they should just keep it in-house, but once they go over 5 and looking to grow their business, or their team, they should immediately consult with an H&R.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. I mean,
not H&R, HR. Y'all know, what I was saying.
I mean, you should have, again, once you get past one employee, a handbook, but in terms of just having access to an HR person, yes, there are going to be some questions that come about, when you get to 2 and 3, but definitely at about 5 employees.
Okay, I think this is really important because, once the pandemic hit, now let me say, before the pandemic hit, quarantine and everything, people lost jobs. Small businesses were doing good, but when everybody started having to be locked in the house and payroll and them checks and everything, businesses started to kind of, fall under.
Yeah.
How did you see the effect of the HR? How did you see the effect of the businesses around that time?
So as it relates to HR professionals, I mean, unfortunately, there were a lot of companies that did have to make decisions as it relates to closing their doors, laying off, cost reductions, things of that nature, because they did not know, or there wasn't the revenue there to keep them afloat, and they weren't sure where that revenue in the future was going to come from, right? And so one of the organizations that I was working with at the time was fortunate enough to only have to make very little cuts. But what it did provide, or unfortunately forced me to have to do, was to go into overdrive, because not only are we dealing with a pandemic, right, that we're not even familiar with, don't know how to manage, just in terms of, exposure to employees, and then what does it look like when you do get sick, but yet you're coming to work. So having to just manage that from an exposure perspective, and then keeping track of the guidelines or regulations as it relates to, hey, the person is sick, and how much leave are we required to give them? Okay, their daughter or child has to take off, sick. Now they have to take off for daycare. Are we obligated to pay them sick leave? So just managing it from that perspective. And it was a lot, not in addition to the day-to-day stuff. We're having to talk about reductions and severance and making decisions regarding those layoffs. That's one aspect of it. Still the day-to-day employee relations, benefits, the whole nine yards.
I don't mean to cut you off, but you were doing all of this while everybody was sitting at home, just looking for a job. You were working and helping businesses manage their finances and make those hard decisions, unfortunately. Yes. But then you're also a recruiter. So you were like, they might have to call them back in about 6 months. Well, but you recruited. Go ahead.
There were companies that needed people. Yes, there were companies that needed people. Wow. One of the companies that I was working with provided emergency response services.
Okay.
And so a lot of it was cleanup, just in terms of disinfecting from COVID and things. And so they needed a lot of people. And so it's like, okay, where are we going to get the people?
Right.
Shoot and making sure they're wearing or have access to the right
properly
PPE
prepared.
And onboarding, training, the whole 9 yards. So I was busy.
So people that are out there that are listening, HR is important for businesses that are growing, for consulting, recruiting. So thank you, girl. Woo! Because you probably hired some of my friends. They were sitting there tired, child. What do you feel is missing for most companies when they start, other than HR?
Excuse me. I think a lot for businesses when they start, HR is missing. Mm-hmm. A lot of times they don't even have a strategy or plan, right? It's just, I'm going to get started. I don't necessarily know what I want to do fully or how I'm going to get there. I'm just going to get started.
Right.
Then too, not even having a clear picture of what their finances look like, right? How much, what their actual revenue is and what their profit is, after all of their expenses and, overhead, whatever it is taken care of. What's their bottom line, right?
Right.
A lot of businesses don't know that. And unfortunately, it's a lot. When you talk about, hey, I'm starting a business and systems, processes, people, finance, it's a lot. But guess what? You got to figure it out.
You got to figure it out.
Got to figure it out.
This is good. And this is just preparing you guys for what's to come June the 4th.
Yes.
That was a setup. Candice got all the answers, baby. Listen, I love it. So June the 4th, let's talk about the big day, because that's why we're here. I believe it's very important for people to be tuned in and want to learn more about the Boss Chicks of Houston. But June the 4th, my girl gonna be here. I'm not gonna embarrass y'all, I promise y'all. Vivica A. Fox will be in the building.
Yes, I'm excited.
She was like, what's going on? Girl, listen, she going to be here. Vivica A. Fox, one of the biggest actresses of all time, but also a businesswoman, a boss chick. The one and only. The Deanna Green will be speaking. The Nicole Wilson. I mean, so many. Mr. By the block. Look, he going to be in the building. So many people. What should people be prepared to take from here?
They should be prepared to get information in terms of, whether it's funding, whether it's, how to go about making investments if you want to get into real estate, right? I know that's been a big area for me, wanting to diversify my income streams, right?
Right.
And so wanting to get into real estate, but I don't have the time, so I'm trying to get my husband on board so we can divide and conquer.
Yes.
We'll be a team.
I love it. I love it.
So real estate, how to get the business up and started the right way, right? When you need funding, to help you catapult your business or get it to the next level, how do you go about obtaining that?
Yes.
Just tools, resources, strategies, systems.
Yes.
Networking.
Yes.
That is very important.
Very important.
Very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
The blueprint.
The blueprint.
The Blueprint Conference, spearheaded and kicked off by the one and only the Boss Chicks of Houston, guys. It's going to be absolutely amazing. What time should people be there? June 4th, where should they get their tickets? Let the people know.
So the tickets can be purchased at the Boss Chicks of Houston website. I actually have a link on my website, on my, Instagram link.
Okay.
Yeah, which is the Cadence company, but also Boss Chicks of Houston Instagram link. 11 to 4 is the event time on Saturday.
Yes.
So get there early.
Honey, we're going to be there front and center. There's going to be so much information.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So once again, guys, this is not an empowerment, rah. This is the blueprint. From real estate to business plans to marketing to also networking with men and women.
Yeah.
That are just making big moves.
Making moves, yes.
Listen. Okay, I'm so excited. I can't wait to be there. We have so many people that are also going to be there as well. So shout out to the vendors. The Cadence company will be there. Look, sponsors, the Cadence company will be there. So shout out to everyone who's a part of this amazing event. June 4th at the Royal Sonesta. So it's going to be lit. So y'all come prepared. Get your tickets now. Where can people find and support if they're looking for your services? Where can they find you?
So they can find me on Instagram at Candice Fobb or the Cadence Company. Also the website, cadenceco.com, which actually I hadn't even published it yet, but
it'll be out soon.
Look, they can look, and my phone number is listed. They can, of course, call me.
But you say call me, honey. I'm direct.
Yeah.
Love it. The Boss Chicks of Houston. Y'all, Boss Chicks never let me down at all. If there's any words of inspiration that you would like to tell us, anybody that's out there that's listening to the Candice Fobb, what would you like to tell them?
So, one of my mottos and what I'd like to tell people is, if the opportunities don't exist, then go out and create them. Oh, and by the way, take a powerful woman with you. So we gonna end on that.
Period. Y'all, it's your girl, Mikhail Rose. It is your girl, Mikhail Rose. We are here with the beautiful, the talented, the most smartest chick that got me some HR tips today. My girl, the Candice Fobb. See you guys on June the 4th at the Royal Sonesta at the Blueprint Conference, spearheaded by the one and only Boss Chicks of Houston. Shout out to the Deanna Green, the Nicole Wilson, my girl Miss Vivica A. Fox, the entire team that's going to be there. We will be there. It's your girl, Mikhail Rose, Iconix Radio. We are Izzy.